Now, I would request everyone to please join me in inviting Mr. Sundar Krishnan, CEO, Xperifund, for a speech.
Thank you. And today I think it's already more than 6:52. So without wasting any further time, I am just going to basically in the last couple of, let us say, the speakers who spoke, one is anti-theft, and before that we heard on mental well-being. Quickly, I would like to summarize, let us say, why this mental well-being is happening, and then I'll get into why I am saying that. In the brain, we have something called limbic brain and the prefrontal cortex. All the emotional stuff and other things, whenever we are in a flight, freeze, fight kind of mode, we are in the limbic brain, and the moment we switch over, it is the prefrontal cortex. Why I am saying this kind of terminologies now when the last discussion happened that way? The reason is we are working in the area of STEM education. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering and maths. Having said that, the minister spoke about 60 lakh children in Telangana and 1/3 of the children, 19 lakhs, are from the government school system. To give you the country's perspective, we have about 15 lakh schools, of which 10.38 lakhs are in the government system. And there are 255 million children who go to government schools. So the question is, how we can make a change in the lives. At Xperifund, the very word itself is where education we deal with in a fun manner. In the morning, we saw somebody speaking that in a fascinating manner, but we call fun manner. If you score well, that can happen only if you learn well. And in order for that to happen, we need to ensure that we are keeping the curiosity of the children in life. For example, at 6:52, if some of you are awake, some of you are tired, still you are curious to learn and you are hearing and listening from us. That's the kind of opportunity we want to create. It is in the hands of teachers who are there and the people behind how we are creating something which is going to create a kind of magic in the classroom, because even a difficult subject can be taught in a very interesting way. Similarly, an easy subject can be taught in a very difficult way. So having said that, so we are doing work in the area of STEM education, and we have almost touched 21 states, and in the languages, we do things in the local language. So the big advantage, come to the next slide please. So the whole advantage of Xperifund is its low-cost indigenous models which we use. 100% of our curriculum is mapped to the syllabus. There are 10 languages in which currently we are there. So all these things are available in the form of something which can be easily rolled out in government school system. The minister spoke about how we can channelize the energies of these children. So one of the opportunities he suggested was between 7 to 10 in the morning and in the evening, some youth should be, actually unemployed youth could be trained and they could use them for sports and other areas like arts and other things. But what I feel or what Xperifund thinks is that if we create an environment which is going to trigger their curiosity, that is going to help them in asking questions and then create products and other things. So in innovation first, we always look at India as the kind of thing rather than any other stuff. That is why it is in local language. Come to the next slide please. So I'm going to now talk about these are the two things. One is a STEM lab which is completely aligned to the syllabus, which is going to help the teachers
in their local language to understand the lesson plan. The second is, I do not know how many of you have heard about Atal Tinkering Labs. And the first phase started from 2016 onwards. As of today, almost 11,000 labs have been set up across the country. And the government announced that 50,000 more labs would be set up in the next 5 years. But there is a problem there. We have identified that, and that's what we are calling as a bridge kit. Or our solution is a prelude to the tinkering kind of thing. So what happens in a school setup is that the tinkering lab gets set up, the teachers are excluded, externally facilitator comes and runs the show. Since morning we have been hearing right from Manisha Sabu when she talked about always think about exit strategy, try to include teachers or any other kind of design kind of thinking should be involved. So here what has happened is that the external facilitator comes and takes the class, teachers are out of the system. So what happens? It is left to the facilitator who manages the show. That's where the whole problem is. So we have identified something which is going to take you through what we call a staged learning process. I'm not going to go into the more of these details. Come to the next slide, and I'm not going to go further in this. I'm going to only touch upon these two aspects, the STEM part of it and the tinkering part of it. This is good enough to take the India to the Viksit Bharat or the innovation kind of an organization. At Experifun, we are here to solve the problem. And how that can be solved is, we cannot exclude the teachers. There are challenges that are available. Since morning I've been thinking, because the time is actually getting constrained for us. Earlier I was told we will get 10 minutes, 8 minutes. Now I'm told only 4 minutes. I'm not going to take more time. There are two key things which I am leaving behind so that the organizers can also think that something, a new word, or it could be already there, but for me I have not heard in the CSR parlance. I'm going to talk about two things, one line each. One is CSR 3.0. We have been talking about CSR 1, which is on compliance, CSR 2 from compliance to impact assessment, which started happening. I call it CSR 2. And now CSR 3, which is what is regeneration or transformation, which is going to take us to Viksit Bharat. Now coming to the second piece is in the area of lack of opportunities at various levels, the gaps. It could be, I call all combination of all the gaps as inequity in cognitive thinking. So if that is there, cognitive inequity is something which will take care of infrastructure inequity, it will take care of pedagogical inequity, it will take care of language inequity, it will take care of contextual inequity. All these things could be covered under this particular cognitive inequity. Ability of the children to see things, to ask questions, and it should be given a fair chance to everybody. The minister says so many children are of no use. The quality of education is going down the drain. So if we have to attain Viksit Bharat by 2047, it has to become an innovation-led country. And that innovation can happen only through school system. When we are talking about STEM education, tinkering lab, when we are talking about anti-theft kind of machines, all these things can be developed. But we have to build that. So in the next 10 years, we have started working on the foundation learning. And going forward, we are looking at creating opportunities for these children to do the leading part of it when they reach the 2047. Many of us may not be there. We would have retired. We would have been doing something else. But people who are going to lead that, they cannot be a passive recipient of information. They have to be active constructors of knowledge. That's one. We cannot continue to use ChatGPT kind of AI-enabled systems. We cannot be just consumers. We have to create opportunities for children so that they become creators. See, a child in Assam should be able to use AI or create something to solve the local problem and in the own language. That's where the success actually of AI can be attributed. And we should not be missing the bus. That's the kind of thing. I would say that would be the intellect actually regeneration. That's what CSR 3 should be looking at. That's what the funding should be looking at. The question to corporate people is, they should see whether it is an experiential way of doing things. Second, is it inclusive? Third, is it sustainable? If these three things are answerable, I think we have done our bit. Thank you so much.